Previously on the Rod Pedersen Show.
Hey, Randy's road trip kicked off in Calgary here yesterday. I don't know if you saw Danny Austin's coverage of it in the Calgary Sun. He was one of them on the Stampeders website, some of the only media that I saw doing stories on it. Did you follow what came out of it at all?
I did, and obviously the Genius Sports thing is a big part of this, and Danny did some great reporting. The Drive to Survive thing is what every league now wants to do because of what it's done with F1. The PGA Tour is on board with this. There were cameras following Rafa Nadal and a bunch of tennis players in Melbourne at the Australian Open. Tennis is following suit. Rod, I've been told that Genius Sports / CFL / the TV rights holders, the competitor to the company I work for, are hoping to sit down with the CFLPA and make a presentation and make a pitch towards something. Now, I would suspect it has something to do with the Drive to Survive model. But I'm also told, Rod, that Genius Sports has really made a push to the league office about 4 downs, and that Randy Ambrosie has let the teams know and let some of the football people know that there is a real push towards 4 downs from their now partner over at Genius Sports. So keep that in mind as this kind of unfolds, that some of the reporting that came out of Grey Cup week, well, it's getting a real push now from one of the key stakeholders on the business side of that entire operation.
Get ready for the Rod Pedersen Show.
What is wrong with the Vegas Golden Knights in your estimation?
Everything. There's not one thing that's wrong. It's everything that's wrong. The goaltending is bad. The defensive play is bad. They don't score. They don't attack into the middle of the ice. They're not hard to play against. This team is not a very good team, and it certainly is not even close to being any type of contender.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Harsh words from Craig Button there as we roll into a Thursday episode of the RP Show, everybody. Welcome to the Stage Bar at Grey Eagle Resort and Casino as we roll your way with your favorite daytime sports and entertainment talk show. Big one tonight, Moose. Vegas Golden Knights home to the Florida Panthers, man.
Ooh.
I'll be finding a place to go. This is the guy, Moose. He knows all the hot spots. He knows where the Monkey Mucks hang out in Calgary. Are we going to get into that?
I don't know.
I think we should a little later on here in the warm-up. This is the warm-up. This is what we do. I was tucked away in bed early last night, as I always am. He's out cavorting with the NHL stars. It's awesome.
Yeah, it was
good
pretty
for
good.
you.
Well, they won last night. They earned it. They can go.
That's the Flames he's talking about.
Yes.
Yeah. I gave that up in 1990 when I was 19, but they just happened to come into the place where you were.
They
right?
just happened to come in where we were at the end of the game. We were getting ready to leave, and they came in, and it was great. It was fun.
Yeah, awesome.
All of them came in.
The whole team?
Pretty much.
What did they eat? Or you didn't notice, probably.
Yeah, I wasn't really snooping, but
okay. Well, hey, speaking of NHL-ers and greats, Brent Sopel is going to be with us a little later on here in hour 1. Stanley Cup champion with the Chicago Blackhawks. Former Flame, I believe, but for sure a Vancouver Canuck, Montreal Canadian. He's been around. Steven Stamp, our NLL insider, is going to be with us. And how about this? The voice of the Oilers, Gino De Paulie, who's on the stage right now. The Okotoks Oilers. When I walked in here today, you have to understand, I leave my room at this resort about 20 minutes early because I come down, and you've seen it, Moose. I visit with everybody along the way. And they said, who's coming in today? And I said, Gino De Paulie is the voice of the Oilers. He goes, Okotoks. Did they make a big deal out of you when you walked in? You're a big deal around here, Gino. So, like, he just turned as red as his shirt. So, anyways, they knew. It was Lucian, by the way, the Romanian national, formerly. So, anyways.
They're sad to see us leave, by the way.
Did he tell you?
Yeah.
He's not happy that we're leaving, but I told him we're coming back next month. He's like, that's good.
Oh, good.
This guy.
That's good.
Anyways, can you hit the quick six show horn, please, Director Jordan? I am breaking with protocol today. I'm not opening with NHL leftovers at all. I'm opening with, like the one-timer segment. Forget about the games.
Yeah.
We're talking about the trades.
Yes.
The Montreal Canadiens traded defenseman Ben Sharok to the Florida Panthers on Wednesday for forward Tyler Smolanic. The Habs also get a first-round pick in 2023 and a fourth-rounder in 2022. The Canadiens retain 50% of Sharok's salary for the remainder of this season. So there's that. In a related trade, I'm not very happy about this, talking to my Florida peeps. The New York Rangers acquired Frank the Tank Vatrano from the Florida Panthers, also Wednesday, for a fourth-round pick. It's a trade between two Eastern Conference contenders that serves a different purpose for each team. Getting Frank the Tank gives the Rangers the kind of veteran forward GM Chris Drury was looking for. They love him in Florida, Moose.
Right.
How can you not with a name like Frank Vatrano?
I know.
But it clears $2.5 million from their cap space for the Atlantic Division leading Panthers. And I don't know what to say more about that. We're sad to see Frank go.
Yeah. But Ben Sharok will be a nice addition to the Panthers.
Right, but different trades, right? But they had to make room for Ben Sharok. And then the Calgary Flames here acquired forward Calle Jarnkrok from Seattle as the Kraken started their pre-trade deadline fire sale. The Flames gave up 3 draft picks, a second-rounder this year, a third-rounder next year, and a seventh-rounder in 2024. And the Kraken are retaining half of Jarnkrok's $2 million salary cap hit for the rest of the season. So it's a win-win for the Flames. You got Gino over here pumping his fists in the air. That they're all loving the trade here in Calgary. So those are the trades. The one thing that annoys me a little bit, and it's because it overlaps with the baseball free agency right now, Freddie Freeman's a Dodger. Kyle Schwarber, I think, went to the Phillies. You saw the tweets from the insiders, and these guys are our buddies. It's nothing against them, but it's hearing the Flames are close on Ben Sharok. Tweet. Well, they weren't. There's just so much fake news going around.
I know.
So I'm kind of just stepping off the merry-go-round until it's official, like these 3 trades we just mentioned.
Yeah, you're going to hear a lot of that, especially when you look at the conversations that are happening. If they're having conversations, it'll sound like they're close, but until the deal's actually done and it's gone through the NHL, it's just speculation.
I'm opening up the comments in the chat here. From Sean McCormick, you know him.
Yes.
Game Plus Television. He's in the control room in Toronto operating the show right now. Sean says, back in Canada, hola, RP team. Come a Sean. He says the Panthers beat Vegas by 2 tonight, and the Canes take care of the Leafs as well. Ho, ho, ho. How about that?
Whoa.
We're opening the betting vault early, but we are in a casino here at 10 in the morning. By the way, your voice is kind of raspy. Were you ripping darts this morning when you were playing blackjack?
Yeah, I know, right?
Were you?
I was not, but maybe secondhand I was.
If you can't get out of the country for whatever reason, come down to the Grey Eagle because you will feel like you're in Vegas, right, guys? They're like, yeah, literally. I just said to Moose this morning, we were sitting at these terminals at the bar. I'm like, I feel like I'm in Vegas.
I know.
And I'm here for it.
I'll go to the Instagram story. You got the lava lamp, the video poker.
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, I'm loving it here. So those were the 3 trades, and the Panthers served notice they're in it to win it. Nobody had Ben Sharok tied to Florida that I saw. And did you? And then all that insider stuff kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah, a little
and the
bit.
Flames augmented. So anyways, those are the trades, and we'll get into more of that later. Let's move to point 2, and that is it's time for the NHL Top 5, Bottom 5 from the RP Show as collected by your host, me. Let's go to the top 5 teams in the National Hockey League, starting with the Florida Panthers. 88 points are the most in the toughest conference in the NHL, and they're getting better. The Florida Panthers are the number 1 team in the NHL. Number 2, the Colorado Avalanche. They're the most talented team in the NHL. Anybody would tell you that. Their 91 points are the best in the league. Colorado's number 2. Number 3, the Carolina Hurricanes. They're yelling at us from the crowd. Yep. I don't have Calgary in it, I'm sorry. Carolina, best winning percentage in the tough Eastern Conference, number 3. Number 4, the Tampa Bay Lightning, 2-time defending Cup champs, will always be in the top 5 no matter what. And number 5, the New York Rangers. I'm sorry, I just got to say it. Officially the Stanley Cup dark horse. Officially. Is he yelling at me or is he yelling at the server? Anyways, let's go to the bottom 5. Number 28, the Chicago Blackhawks. All eyes are on what you're going to do with the Flower. First big move for the new GM, Kyle Davidson. Number 29, the Ottawa Senators. 3 losses in a row, 8 losses in their past 10. Where's the progress? Number 30, the Arizona Coyotes. They're no longer last in the West. Winners of 7 in their last 10. Have you not heard of the term tanking? What are you doing?
I know.
Just supposed to win. Number 31, the Seattle Kraken. They are who we thought they were. And number 32, the Montreal Canadiens. Still the NHL's worst team. Very sad story. There's your top 5, bottom 5. And I'm sure the guys that you were cavorting with last night, to use a term made popular by Peter Marr, right? Here come the Leafs cavorting out of their zone.
That's pretty good.
You can put it in the win column. Flames, I don't know. I'm getting... this town's bumping. It's on fire with what the Flames are doing. There's no doubt. But I'm starting to buy into this. I'll believe it when I see it in the playoffs.
Yeah.
You're hearing a lot of that around town, too, from the hockey people.
Well, you remember when they were top of the conference and out in the first round, right? They were good not that long ago. But this team is good. They're really good. And they got better with the trade. I think a lot of people thought maybe they'd be in the top 5, but there's New York. I mean, you can't argue them with. They got great goaltending. They've got depth up front. I like the Rangers too. So it's going to get really, really fun really quick.
Honestly, I'm becoming a Flames, dare I say, fan, supporter for sure. They've treated us so well. But when they went into Colorado and lost 3-0, and I know it was their 5th game in 7 nights, I'm like, they got a lot of work to do. Because those teams in the East are fighting hard every single night.
Yeah.
You know? Let's go to point 3. Yeah. The Toronto Blue Jays. We'll spend a minute on this. All-star third baseman Nat Chapman has been acquired by the Blue Jays from the payroll-shedding Athletics for 4 players. The 5-year veteran and 3-time Gold Glove winner hit .201 with 27 home runs and 72 RBI in 151 games for the Athletics last season. So, you know, it's interesting. We saw our guy Ken Reed on Sportsnet Connected saying, by all accounts, he's the best third baseman in the game. He plays out in the American League West. We don't see him that often. We don't know a lot about him.
Right.
Played 151 games. That's about 140 more than George Springer last year. What's the best ability? Availability. So I like that. I'll take 27 home runs if he is a vacuum on the corner.
Yeah.
So the Blue Jays, I was shocked when Arash said yesterday that they are the betting favorite to win the American League East. I went and looked at Bet Regal odds. Dang it, if they aren't, they are. The Toronto Blue Jays, and that's with what they have now. They're still looking to augment. So I'm starting to get the thought that maybe, A, I'm going to slip over to Dunedin to watch a little, get my eyeballs on them myself. And 2, that this team, we should be looking up their schedule and starting to dive into this. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm into it. I mean, I didn't see the Jays, obviously, in Arizona, but getting just a taste of minor league spring training in the first couple of days in the weekend, it made me really kind of want to follow baseball this year. Isn't that funny? Not usually into it like that until the fall, but I'm kind of am now.
Well, the lockout, despite they didn't miss any games that we saw, did turn me off a little bit. And if the Blue Jays weren't a contender, I wouldn't be paying attention right now. I wouldn't. There's too much else going on. But they are a contender, so I will be paying attention. I'll get to the comments maybe in a moment as we roll on here. It's, 11:11 Central, by the way. Hey, Winnipeg, hit it. You're on the right path. Stay on it. I'm not sure that counts for the Jets. But anyways,
Does it count for the blackjack table?
You're winning. You're on a roll. I'm surprised you're even sitting here.
I know, right?
Moose is on a heater this morning.
You don't walk away from a heater.
I had to drag him away from the table. Like Ron Meyer, the old coach of the Las Vegas Posse. They had to drag him off the craps table to go coach practice. You like those, eh? It's a true story. Listen, we sat around the table the other day here at the Grey Eagle Buffet, Calgary's best buffet, with some CFL guys, and we literally just swapped stories. And you were sitting there just throwing them on the table of back in the day. Jim Barker sleeping with a pot-bellied pig. Like sleeping with it in the bed with him. Just, and he's still in the CFL. You might want to ask Jim. I guess he had a pot-bellied pig as a pet. Like most people would have a dog and sleep with their dog. He had a pot-bellied pig.
Can't imagine. I can't imagine.
Well, but we haven't spent any time, by the way, on the CFL stuff at all. Like Arash dropped that stink bomb and left yesterday on the 4 downs thing. Let me only say this about the Randy Randy's road trip. And Moose and I will debate this probably. This would be a good point counterpoint. Yeah. What was the thing we used to do? Face off for the sporting goods company. I thought they should have blown up Randy's road trip here in town. Brought him around to the TV stations in the morning, Global, CTV, the sports talk radio station, bring him here. And you and some of those CFL guys were like, no, this is a sponsored thing. It's not a media thing. Okay. But one of them did say if Gary Bettman was in town, there would be a motorcade. There would be a massive media. Everybody would know that the commissioner of the NHL was in town, whereas here it was pretty much slip in, slip out. And I don't favor that, but I'm not going to tell the CFL how to do their business. Who likes that? Nobody. So am I right or wrong?
No, I think you're right. The thing that I, kind of was on the other side of was I don't think his address was for the media. I think that was for the fans because he's doing this in every location. If it was for the media, it'd be the exact same thing. I agree that he absolutely should have done the tour. Should have been a breakfast, should have done this, should have been at all the TV outlets, all the radio outlets, and visited with everybody. Make as many stops as you can. And so that I'm on board with for sure.
But that's just my thought. That's what popped into my head. Point 5. The Edmonton Stingers completed a sweep in Calgary of 2 of the top teams from Latin America Wednesday night, defeating Real Esteli of Nicaragua 88-79 to complete the Basketball Champions League America's homestand at Winsport Arena. Although the Stingers' BCLA run came to an end here, the strong attendance at Winsport provided an exciting indication of Calgary's appetite for a potential expansion team in the future, according to CEBL Commissioner and CEO Mike Morreale. And the thing about Morreale, known him 20-plus years, he is as cool as the other side of your pillow. He is as sharp as the edge of town. And he wrote me the next morning, Rod, thanks for coming to the games last night. Great to see you. Thanks for supporting. Go follow him on Instagram because he's at Mike Morreale, I think 18.
I think it's 18.
And he wrote a statement there for how great this event was in Calgary. Thanked sponsors and fans for their support. And I thought, that's pretty cool. And there's this murmur around that Morreale will one day be the commissioner of the CFL. Well, I don't put stock in that. And I know Mike doesn't either because he's applied twice and never even got an interview. And he's enjoying what he's doing now. But I enjoy that old school touch.
Yeah.
The personal touch. Rod, thanks for coming out. That's the way they used to do it.
When a commissioner writes that, it means something, right? And it feels good, right? And it makes you want to get on here the next day and rave about the CEBL and rave about the event you were at and go to the next one when you're treated well, right? And Mike's a cool commissioner. He always looks good. He gets right involved, shakes everybody's hands, and you genuinely see that he's excited about the product. That's cool.
And Randy Ambrosie's a lot of that too, but I just think Randy's been on this job since 2017, and he's just shell-shocked now from
and you can understand.
Dealing with these owners, and oh my God, I wouldn't want to do it. Randy was pretty bright-eyed and bushy-tailed when he started too.
Of course.
That's all. When we come back, we're going to delve into what's gone on in just an insane week in the NFL. My point, I got 6A, 6B, 6C. And that's NFL, WHL, NLL tonight, and a little more on that 4-down thing. And, of course, the NHL. Gino is going to cover the hockey portion. That he'll be joining us a little later on. You are watching the RP Show. We are live from Grey Eagle Resort and Casino in Calgary, Calgary's entertainment destination. You're watching on Game Plus TV, YouTube Live, and if you missed the show, catch the podcast on Apple, Stitcher, and Spotify, or wherever you find your favorite podcasts.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time.
Are you ready? It's finally time for your next adventure, and it starts at Capital Ford. Custom order the perfect new vehicle for you, or reserve one of the hundreds that's already built and on its way. Can't wait? Get into a pre-owned vehicle that's already on the lot and ready to rock. Plus, the American Export event is back and bigger than ever. We'll send your vehicle south, making you the most money for your trade. Guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, all name brand tires are employee priced. Only at Capital Ford Lincoln. Your adventure starts here.
Number 16.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep.
A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at BetRegal.net.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
Godfather of shock rock is back with special guest Buck Cherry. Mosaic Place, Sunday, April 10th. Get tickets now at mosaicplace.ca and sasktix.ca.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Beautiful morning here in the gateway to the foothills, Sutina Nation, and Grey Eagle Resort and Casino, where, by the way, the master of redneck comedy, Jeff Foxworthy's coming to the Grey Eagle Event Center Saturday, May 28th. Actor, writer, producer, and former host of Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? Jeff Foxworthy's hilarious show can't be missed. Tickets are available now at Ticketmaster.ca. Plus, on my brother's birthday, maybe I should bring him, July 28th. Catch the West Coast vibes with one of the most influential rock and roll bands of all time, the Beach Boys. Dance and sing along. I know you will, Moose.
Oh, yeah.
To the best hits of the iconic band for one night only, July 28th. Again, tickets on sale at Ticketmaster.ca. Just a couple more days left for us here at Grey Eagle, but then we're heading out, but we're coming back next month. So, ready to pick up where we left off?
Yeah.
Did I leave anything dangling from the opening segment that you would like to?
You were going to get into what's been going on in the NFL.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm going to say.
Probably what I've been following the most lately.
I'm just checking some of the viewers' comments here. Pinks writes in, says, Rod and Darren, have you guys checked out the Mickelson Outdoor Driving Range? Something you need to do before you leave. Didn't know there was. Nah. We'll probably go to Can Golf in Canmore. Canmore's my town. That's my new second home, Gino. I'm sorry, but they're treating me like gold out there in Canmore. And they've got Can Golf is indoor.
Okay. Yeah.
I got to take you there.
Yeah,
too,
I have
lunch.
to go.
On the Four Downs, William May watching in Lloydminster, Canada's only border city, says the four down thing, I'm okay with it as long as it makes the CFL stronger. Ryan McCarthy in New York says, Rod's not wrong. Jeff Reinbold told the Ron Meyer craps story on my podcast. Rod's never wrong. From Andrew Stute. Morning, Rod. Bon matin, as they say in French. Have you figured that one out yet?
No.
Bon matin?
That's a new one.
What's today's French phrase for you?
I haven't opened it up yet. I do my lesson after the show.
What was last night's French phrase?
Last night we were learning all about places. So La Gare was the train station. We were learning about the airport and your passport. And
So on Andrew, he goes, I hated to see Toffoli and Sharok traded, but I am liking the returns they're getting back. May take a bit of time, but I think you'll see a good young team very soon here. That's a sucky thing for Montreal. You go all the way to the Stanley Cup final, you don't win, and then they're not out of the woods yet either, by the way. Like, Dominic Ducharme was the flavor of the week. You fired Claude Julien to bring in Ducharme, takes him to the Stanley Cup final, then you fire him. How long is Martin St. Louis going to be around?
I know, but when you had the bottom 5, I think you had them at the bottom. Yeah. They are, I think, 6-3-1 in their last 10. So they are moving up, and they are playing well under Martin St. Louis, but they still have to work to fix this roster.
To football. Russell Wilson to Denver, Carson Wentz to Washington, Amari Cooper to Cleveland, Chandler Jones to Las Vegas, Khalil Mack and J.C. Jackson to the LA Chargers, Brandon Scherf to Jacksonville. So what if it's old news? Here's some brand new news, Moose. Super Bowl champion Von Miller is leaving Los Angeles for Buffalo, and star receiver Julio Jones is looking for work. Just got word this morning the Bills have released Cole Beasley. On Wednesday, teams could come clean after all the recent leaks made those moves common knowledge across the NFL. Yes, the 2022 NFL business year has begun, and with it comes the official announcements of who's going where, for what, and how much. Von Miller's move across the country was the headline grabber this week. He's getting a 6-year deal from the Bills and will pursue winning a third NFL title with a third team. Denver in 2015, last year with the Rams. And the biggest star is your boy Julio Jones, released by Tennessee Wednesday. He lasted only one injury-filled year with the Titans. The 33-year-old Jones will be designated as a post-June 1st release, with the Titans carrying the cap hit until then. Before you delve into all that, can I just say, with all these teams and players switching like this, Russell Wilson going there, I just said it at the start, we got to let the CFL off the hook because they get so much heat. Right? For players switching teams like a carousel, like a merry-go-round. The NFL's doing the same thing. Amari Cooper out in Dallas. But how would you typify the Julio Jones era? What was your favorite part of the Julio Jones era in Tennessee?
You know what? When you look at it now from this view, it's the same as the Randy Moss era in Tennessee. If you remember Randy Moss, nobody does. Even Titans fans don't remember, right? Until you see a photo of him in a jersey and you think it's photoshopped. Right? It's disappointing because we see Julio Jones released and we never really saw the potential. He had 62 yards in that playoff loss to Cleveland. He didn't get in the lineup. So at the end of the day, when you're releasing him, you're not losing anything because you never really had anything with him. So it's disappointing that we never saw the potential.
Well, we're not done yet, and that's why I leave the insider talk to the insiders to do the heavy lifting, because the story said all those leaks that came out over the last week, none of them could be made official till Wednesday, right, including the Russell Wilson trade and all the things that I just said. And they're not done yet.
Well, they're not. No. And the Deshaun Watson stuff, isn't even registering there, but it's big too, because he tells the Cleveland Browns that he's not going to sign with the Browns after meeting with them. But then when Baker Mayfield learns that Deshaun Watson's met with the Browns, he goes on social media and writes basically a goodbye to Cleveland. And then you hear the Browns saying that they want a grown-up quarterback. So there's a whole mess of what's going to happen in Cleveland. And we thought the Browns were out of it and were on the rise. And instantly, they're back to being basically a dumpster fire.
The Browns. Well, they say, I guess, well, again, we all get sucked into this, that the Atlanta Falcons are the leading clubhouse leaders to get Deshaun Watson, right?
What's Matt Ryan do? He's sitting there being
you had a quarterback.
Right, and a good one, too, who actually almost got Atlanta into the playoffs last year with a pretty bad team. But they're not going to have Calvin Ridley this year unless he appeals the suspension.
Which they won't. Have him.
Yeah. So, yeah, wild.
I guess that's the thing with the players switching teams. We're at a very sad time in sports, and I can't blame the players. I really can't. They want to be loyal. They don't want to pick up and move. I believe that. There's a little bit of chasing the paycheck. Of course there is. But that's just the star players, really, for the most part, right?
Yeah.
We as fans have to decide, do we get too attached to the players? Do we change teams like I do? Or you stick with your team and the players come and go? I'm always the fish swimming upstream. I think most people stick with their team.
Yeah.
Right?
I think so.
I don't. I get too attached to the players.
Well, I didn't buy a Julio jersey last year.
Good thing.
Good thing. But I thought about it, and that wouldn't have been the smartest move. But yeah, you got to stick with your team. I do think, for the most part, Russell Wilson moves to Denver, but he was in Seattle for a long time. Cole Beasley's out of Buffalo, but he was there for a while. Even Amari Cooper was in Dallas for a few seasons. It wasn't a one-and-done situation.
Didn't win anything.
But didn't win.
Brent Sopel coming up on the program today. Gino De Paulie, the voice of the Okotoks Oilers, and we'll have a wide hockey chat with Gino. You Italian, Gino? A little bit. A little bit. And our lacrosse insider, Steven Stamp, which we're getting to. Moving on to point 6B. An absolutely wild third period ended in the Regina Pats' favor on Wednesday night in Lethbridge after they scored 3 unanswered goals to come away with a 6-4 victory. Connor Bedard finished with 3 points in the win, giving him 41 points in his last 19 games. Did you watch SportsCenter last night?
I did not.
Oh, you didn't?
No, I got
Leave it to me.
late.
Our guy, Jermaine Franklin. They did like 3 minutes on Connor Bedard. Every night they're talking about him on SportsCenter.
That's cool.
If you noticed. And just more, he's doing highlight reel stuff every single night.
I know.
This kid. So the Pats won. They are 8th. They hold the final playoff spot in the Eastern Conference in the WHL and have 13 games remaining. Elsewhere, Calgary won in Brandon 5-2. Winnipeg blanked Moose Jaw 4-0. The Swift Current Broncos beat PA 6-3. Your Saskatoon Blades were winners at Edmonton 5-3.
Yeah.
And the Tri-City Americans beat Vancouver 2-1. I'm not sure if that was the game. I think that was the game, Tri-City beating Vancouver 2-1, that our old pal Westy called his 2,500th WHL game.
That's cool.
We got to get Westy on the air, Clark. Have we ever had Westy on? He is like Jay Leno meets Vin Scully meets Al Michaels. That's what he is. Have you met Westy? You met Westy?
Yeah, that's a great description.
He's all of those things.
Because he comes in, so I met him, and he came in.
Tri-City Americans radio voice.
They come into Saskatoon every 2 years.
Right.
So I'm sitting there with Les in the broadcast booth, 45 minutes before the game, and he comes in and props his arm up on the thing and just proceeds to tell stories for 20 minutes. And him and Les go back and forth, and I'm just like taking it all in. But very much like those 3 guys you mentioned.
Jay Leno, Vin Scully, Al Michaels. He had a very big impact on me. I remember my very first West Coast trip. I was with the Prince Albert Raiders. I was 20 years old, and we went out to Spokane. I'd never been out. I'd heard all those places.
Right.
Listened to the games on the radio. The Glass Palace in Portland sounds so amazing.
Yeah.
And by the way, it is. And we get to Spokane. The Boone Street Barn was where the Chiefs played. Nothing like the splashy new Memorial Coliseum that they have in Spokane. Spokane Veterans Memorial Arena. So they're going to build this new arena. And in the old place, it was an old theater. It had a stage at one end, just like this, and then ice out that way. The boards were all those American ones. You hit the boards. Yeah. Sounded like you exploded the guy.
They wobble.
And they bounce right back up, and nobody ever got hurt. We loved that. Glass walls on the outside of the building, so you could see downtown. It was beautiful. The Boone Street Barn, because it was on Boone Street, and there was ambulances circling. It's right downtown. There's stuff going on in Spokane, man. Yeah. It's got sizzle. So I said to Westy, he was the voice of the Spokane Chiefs at the time. I said, Westy, aren't you going to miss this place? It's the Boone Street Barn, man. It's got so much character. He's like, miss it? I'll take a leak on the parking lot when it's gone. Place is a dump. I might get, and I never forgot that, because then they moved into what is the Taj Mahal of junior hockey facilities. It really is.
Yeah.
Probably the greatest junior hockey facility on the continent.
Yeah.
9,000-seat Spokane Arena. So when we were looking at building a new stadium in the homeland, Mosaic Stadium, so many people would come through Taylor Field and go, oh, aren't you going to miss this place, Rod, Taylor Field? Miss it? I'll take a leak in the parking lot. No, we don't miss it. We don't miss it.
Right.
Because now we have the Taj Mahal football stadium.
That's right.
So I never, ever, ever forgot a Westie. So every time I see him, I think of that.
That's funny. Yeah, we got to get him on and tell that story.
He won't remember, I'm sure. It was 1993, bro.
Oh, he'll remember. I'm sure he will.
Literally almost 30 years ago. I just gave away my age.
Isn't that crazy?
How about that?
How about
anything else? Anything else, Moose, before we let you go?
No, I think we're good.
Read a couple comments here from Patrolman Pete. Note that the Winnipeg Ice have 4 shutout wins in a row on home ice. The Ice are heating up again. BW watching on YouTube. It was 50-plus years ago that the CFL changed their points for a touchdown to be the same as the football in the USA. Maybe it's time to switch to 4 downs. Poll the CFL alumni. Holy smokes, Moose, we didn't even get into that 4-down talk.
I know.
Maybe later.
Yeah.
Maybe later. If you want to know my thoughts on that, go to rodpeterson.com right now. The commentary is up on that. My take on the CFL switching to 4 downs. Nelson Hakowicz says moves make news and news makes the media partners happy. He's talking about the National Football League. Jeff, the Stamps fan, says breaking news. Riders sign Campbell. I assume you're talking about Jamal Campbell, the offensive lineman that the Argos cut this week. So there's lots going on this Thursday. And our good friend Brent Sopel joins us next to talk a little NHL. You're watching the RP Show on the Game Plus Television Network, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpeterson.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Peterson Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Are you ready? It's finally time for your next adventure, and it starts at Capital GMC. Custom order the perfect new vehicle for you, or reserve one of the hundreds that's already built and on its way. Can't wait? Get into a GM-certified pre-owned vehicle that's on our lot and ready to rock. Plus, the American Export event is back and bigger than ever. We'll send your vehicle south, making you the most money for your trade. Guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, all name brand tires are employee priced. Only at Capital GMC. Your adventure starts here.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time. Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Casinos and suites.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming at the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
11 throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep.
A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Hey Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpetersonshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpetersonshop.com.
RP Show continues from Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. By the way, they're thrilled to present an 8-time Grammy Award winner and one of the greatest guitarists of all time, Buddy Guy. Buddy Guy brings his raw and unadulterated sound to the Grey Eagle Event Center on April 30th. Get your tickets today at Ticketmaster.ca. Well, it's always a great day when you can talk, period, with Brent Sopel, let alone talking hockey. The 659-game NHL veteran, Saskatchewan product, Stanley Cup champion. And Soaps, if I may, Canucks, Islanders, Kings, Blackhawks, Thrashers, Canadiens. Who's the one team that you identify with, that you follow the most with as we get to the trade deadline and the stretch drive? Is it Chicago?
Definitely not. They're on the bottom of my list. They don't deserve my time or attention. Obviously Vancouver, little run that what they went on, but I'm still watching the Atlanta Thrashers. I hope they do well.
I.e. the Winnipeg Jets, I guess. Yeah. Hey, sorry to bring up Chicago, but you know what? I haven't had you on since the Canucks cleaned house, so let's talk about them a little bit and the resurgence under Gabby and Jim Rutherford. I don't know. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs, but how do you feel about the turnaround there in Vancouver?
Well, good for them. Obviously, they got some talented, guys on the ice, and like Bruce Boudreau is a great coach. There's certain levels of coaches in this league. There's coaches that make you better. There's certain coaches that get you to the playoffs, and there's other coaches that get you over the hill. And over the hill is winning that Stanley Cup. And Bruce Boudreau is, everywhere he's gone, Anaheim, Washington, he's done well. He's just not a coach that's going to win you a Stanley Cup. But in Vancouver, obviously, they needed a fresh face. It was he takes a different approach to the game than what Greener did and some of the other guys. But it's always nice to see a team turn it around. But I agree with you. I think it's too tall of a mountain to climb to get over to the top to make those playoffs.
Why do you think, Brent, that the Canucks waited so long? Why do teams overall wait so long to make a move like that? And to be clear, you were never pointing the finger at Travis Green. I believe you thought Jim Benning was the issue there in Vancouver. But what do you think took so long?
Again, you can't in the NHL. You don't want to make rash decisions. You make a rash decision, it could cost you your future, and that's what the game's got to be. I think the Vancouver Canucks, you're not playing for the now, you're playing for a year or 2, 3 down the road. Technically, really, I hope they don't make the playoffs right now. They make the playoffs right now. Who are they going to play the first round? A team that is not very good. No, they're they'll get bounced out in 4. Don't make a trade. Don't give up some prospects. So in the NHL, it's you really got to sit on some losing streaks to really find out who you are, what kind of team you are. But you can't make any rash decisions. And you're right. I wasn't pointing the finger at Greener. I think Jim Benning did do a very good job.
You mentioned Boudreau as a coach, just good enough, but not good enough to win a Stanley Cup. His track record shows that. You must get this a lot. Who is your favorite coach? Played a long time in the NHL. And Dub, too. You could talk about Mooner if you wanted. Who's your favorite all-time coach?
I don't know if I can nail it down to one. Lauren Malkin was big for me at 15 and 16 years old. Todd McCollum and Swift Current. Obviously now he's in LA. He should be up there for Coach of the Year this year for LA Kings. Guy named Jack McElharty. Broad Street Bullies. I had him in Syracuse my first couple of years. Then went into he was in Vancouver also. everybody had for myself, I'm a guy that, had to learn a lot of different tricks, a lot of different ways. So I don't know if I can nail one down, but obviously Joe Quenneville comes to mind. Obviously, he was the guy who got us to the forefront. He got us to the Stanley Cup. We won with him, and he was the guy that, for me, obviously, he was a coach's player. He didn't like me. He tried to send me down to the minors the year before. He didn't like me, so he got us over the hump. But he's definitely one. Isn't my favorite. Mark Crawford probably would have to be my guy for me. We had a love-hate relationships. We butted heads, but he believed in me all my time in Vancouver. He put me out there, even though I'd screw up, and he put me right back out there. So Mark Crawford definitely is number one for me.
Interesting, and yet there's a lot of guys that hate him, right? It's just the way that it goes. But it's funny you say that because with Quenneville, I said a few years ago that I thought the best three coaches in the NHL were Quenneville, Babcock, and Dave Tippett, and now all three are out of the league. And it just reminds me about a conversation. Here's an old one for you, Soaps. I was sitting in Digger's Bar on 2nd Avenue in Prince Albert with Donnie Clark, and Bison had said to me, "Why would you want to be in the radio business? There's no stability in that business at all." And I'm like, "I might ask you the same thing, Clarky." And he was like, good point. So last year, when Tampa Bay met Montreal in the Stanley Cup final, you were pulling for the Lightning. And I got him in my top 5 NHL teams, which we unveiled today. We do it weekly. Do you think the Lightning can pull it off 3 in a row?
No question. Look at the goaltending, Vasilevsky. Obviously, he's a good friend of mine. Him and we played together in Russia. So when you have the best goaltender in the world, and to me, it's not just by a leap. It's leaps and bounds. He's ahead of players, and you've got obviously Victor Hedman, by far number 1 D-man in the world. Stamkos, Kucherov, Braden Point. Can they go with 3-peat? Yes, I think they can, and I hope they do.
Anybody else? Are they your rooting interest? Is there anybody, let's talk about the Florida Panthers. They made the big trade to get Sharok, but they could line up against Tampa in the playoffs. Last year they did. How do you feel about the Panthers shot?
No, give the Panthers some credit. Obviously, there was a lot of turmoil earlier in the year of Joe Quenneville having to retire. They've got a great team. I think that would be the Stanley Cup final right there. And when they faced each other, you look what they did last year. They don't like each other, so I think that's good. And obviously, Colorado Avalanche. My hope is that they trade for Marc-Andre Fleury and really win it. That's what if I could have a crystal ball and I could predict anything and want anything, that's what it'd be. I'd love to have Fleury go to Colorado and beat Tampa in the final is fine with me.
Boy, would that be something. Absolutely. Hey, it's always fun talking hockey, but you're into so many other more worthwhile, noble things, if I may. What's going on in the world of Brent Sopel these days?
You know me, life all over the map, and the foundation. The Brent Sopel Foundation is my heart and soul, my everything. So still advocating for dyslexics and everybody in the drug and alcohol world trying to stay sober. I'm blessed to wake up today. There's 160,000 of us don't wake up every day. So happy to be awake and happy to be talking to you.
Absolutely. Always great to see you, chat with you, and converse with you. Soaps, thanks for this. Enjoy the hockey and keep in touch, my friend.
Yeah, anytime. Be good.
Yeah, you betcha. No choice these days. 659 NHL game veteran Brent Sopel checking in from Clearwater, Florida. It's your lucky day. Taco Time viewer takeover takes over next. Next hour, Gino De Paulie and Steven Stamp. We're live from Grey Eagle. You're watching on the Game Plus Television Network, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpeterson.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Peterson Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Peterson Show now.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
Comfort has always been something we, as people, strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives, focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
Are you ready? It's finally time for your next adventure, and it starts at Capital GMC. Custom order the perfect new vehicle for you, or reserve one of the hundreds that's already built and on its way. Can't wait? Get into a GM certified pre-owned vehicle that's on our lot and ready to rock. Plus, the American Export event is back and bigger than ever. We'll send your vehicle south, making you the most money for your trade. Guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, all name brand tires are employee priced. Only at Capital GMC. Your adventure starts here.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
It is Viewer Takeover, and we're proud to say that Taco Time is back with us. It's Taco Time Viewer Takeover, and for that I feel like tacos for lunch. What do you say? It's Burrito Thursday. Buy one, get one half off at Taco Time. And I'm throwing it to the viewers. I'm so happy to have Taco Time back aboard. It just feels right. Todd's watching in Red Deer. New viewer, he says, hey guys, always watch the show, just usually on PVR. Really enjoy your work. The depth of interviews along with the variety is second to none. Keep up the great work. Which I really appreciate you writing, Todd, because most people are throwing crap at you, you know? Not many people pick up and say nice things, so thank you, Todd. And he goes on to say, great show. The Chapman deal to the Blue Jays is huge. What's next for Biggio? Also, after the past interviews with Craig Button, is there a player he doesn't know about? Deep, deep knowledge. I was thinking the same thing about Craig Button, and that's why I knew yesterday I could throw him the question about the Tyson Jost trade with Colorado for Nico Sturm, and Craig would have immediate analysis, and he did. But just don't forget that he's a lifelong NHL scout and was a full-time scout, i.e. was traveling the globe watching players from every country. He knows every player. That was his job. From DG in the Bridge City, writes in, morning guys, happy March Madness opening day. Perhaps I've missed it, but who are the Rod and Darren picks to win it all? I'm going with Gonzaga to finally get off the schneid and put Spokane, Washington on the sporting map. Lots of people have put Spokane on the map. Craig T. Nelson comes to mind, the star of the show, Coach. He's from Spokane. Gary Echeverry's mom lives there, or did. Enjoy the madness, says DG in Saskatoon. I don't know about Moose, but I picked the Yukon Huskies to win it all. I'm sure you did too, right, Moose? He's back on the other side of the wall here. Yeah, he did. Regarding the BCLA pro basketball games, thanks to everybody who supported it here in Calgary this week. Craig D in Calgary writes in, he says, what a great week of basketball. Quality games, incredible atmosphere, and decent ticket price. $35. And you're right, it was awesome to see Moriali making the rounds and pumping everyone up on the floor. It would be amazing to have a team here. But even if it doesn't happen for a while, this is still a great league to follow. Not even ashamed to say Edmonton is my favorite team. Signed, Craig in Calgary. I follow the CEBL more than the NBA. Don't at me. It helps to know the players and the coaches and the commissioner. It's one of, they want to be the CFL of basketball. And they're putting players in the NBA. So I suggest you get on board. What else? Metal Shingle Guy writes in, he says, is the 4 downs thing in the CFL for real? Will the field size change too? I don't know. Arash is reporting it. The commissioner's talking about it. Going to 4 downs, I don't think you would need to change the size of the field. But be honest with ourselves, it's the CFL. Anything's possible. Jeff in Esteban writes in, he says, 4 downs with the big field could be big scores. Yeah, I think we all love college football for that reason, the wide openness of it. A sports update, by the way, on this Thursday. The Calgary Flames maintained their stranglehold atop the Pacific Division with a 6-3 victory over the Devils last night. Dylan Dubé scored the go-ahead goal in the second period. The Leafs will be without Austin Matthews again tonight when they host Carolina. What else we got tonight? Matthews sitting out a 2-game suspension for cross-checking. Elsewhere, the struggling Montreal Canadiens host Dallas. The Oilers are home to Buffalo, and Vancouver welcomes Detroit. Last minute of play in hour 1. Last minute. A few NHL teams have already been busy ahead of Monday's trade deadline. The Flames acquired forward Kelly Yarncroc from the Seattle Kraken for 3 draft picks. The Canadiens sent coveted defenseman Ben Sherratt to Florida for Tyler Smolanic and 2 draft picks. And to make room, the Panthers shipped popular forward Frank the Tank Vetrano to New York. And we're not happy about it as Panthers followers. The Raptors pulled even with Cleveland for the 6th spot in the Eastern Conference with a 103-100 win over the Clippers last night in L.A. The Raptors, who won 5 straight on the road, are back home to the Lakers tomorrow. There's way more, but we got to pause for the cause. This sports update for Ballers Rec Room. Check out your brand new line of games for the Tap Brewhouse and drive-through liquor store, and for Red Bull Canada. Red Bull gives you wings. Hour 2 straight ahead with Gino De Paulie right after this on Game Plus TV.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Alice Cooper, the godfather of shock rock, is back with special guest Buck Cherry. Mosaic Place, Sunday, April 10th. Get tickets now at mosaicplace.ca and sasktix.ca.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
11 throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep.
A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at BetRegal.net.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of time. Oh, big time, big time, big time, big time.
Are you ready? It's finally time for your next adventure, and it starts at Capital Ford. Custom order the perfect new vehicle for you, or reserve one of the hundreds that's already built and on its way. Can't wait? Get into a pre-owned vehicle that's already on the lot and ready to rock. Plus, the American Export event is back and bigger than ever. We'll send your vehicle south, making you the most money for your trade. Guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, all name brand tires are employee priced. Only at Capital Ford Lincoln. Your adventure starts here.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
What is wrong with the Vegas Golden Knights, in your estimation?
Everything. There's not one thing that's wrong. It's everything that's wrong. The goaltending is bad. The defensive play is bad. They don't score. They don't attack into the middle of the ice. They're not hard to play against. This team is not a very good team, and it certainly is not even close to being any type of contender.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Ooh. Scorching analysis from TSN's Craig Button regarding the Vegas Golden Knights. And tonight we'll see if they take a step out of that funk. One of many big games in the National Hockey League. They all are here as we head down the home stretch. Welcome to Hour 2 of the RP Show, everybody. Coming to you live from the Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. And Hour 2 is brought to you by Great Western Original 16, the best beer in the game. And this is always so much fun because we're not going to reset the Quick Six show topics here. Thankfully, nothing's really happened in sports so far today. And you can hear him laughing already. Our Hour 2 guest, Gino De Paulie, joins us, the voice of the Okotoks Waters. Real big deal with the staff at the Grey Eagle here. They were very excited to see you, Gino. So.
It was excited. They wanted me to go play on the tables again and try it. And I was like, no, my heater was last week.
That's how they know you so well.
Because
you're a regular.
I'm here for the RP show, but I went straight to the tables for.
And did you win?
No, I was up $100, remember? And I left the black chip at the table, and Darren grabbed it.
But I thought you went back after the show.
No. I had to go to work.
Somebody's got to work, yeah.
I have to try and work.
So I promised the hockey fans that it would be a big hockey show because this cat knows his stuff. And we covered a lot of the NFL, CFL stuff last hour. But the thing is, Gino also moonlights on Fan 960 Calgary. You're not afraid to talk about your football, too. You know what do you know better, NFL or CFL?
I would say the NFL. I'm a Broncos fan. I've had a pretty good week. So
yeah, you seem to really be on top of that Russell Wilson trade.
Yeah, and it's funny, and this will sound dumb, but the Camrose Kodiak's play-by-play voice, Tim Ellis, and I are both Broncos fans, and we're both Red Sox fans, which is hilarious at the same time. But he wanted Aaron Rodgers so bad. I was like, and I just heard I think it was just that random Google search that you'll do, and what are the odds of who and someone can come to the Denver Broncos? And one article I read was there's an outsider's chance of Russell Wilson with the offense that the Denver Broncos have built. So I kind of wishful thinking. I know it won't happen. You don't think it'll happen. The team that I hate the most besides in the AFC is the Seattle Seahawks. Can't stand them. Can't stand the fan base. Can't stand all those humans that root for the Seahawks. So when Russell Wilson came into my periphery last week, I stopped working. I was like, no way. Like, this can't happen. So,
and yet, there's a lot of Seahawks fans here.
I'm sure there is.
Well, you would know better than I.
Yeah, I got a few Seahawks friends of my own, so it's always fun.
A lot of Denver fans, too.
Yes.
Yeah. So as we crack the lid here, Gino's with us for quite a while today, and I appreciate you coming down and doing that.
I appreciate you bringing me back again.
Oh, yeah. Well, we've been trying to get you more, but you're a busy guy.
Well, it's okay.
Yeah, also coming up, Steven Stamp, our NLL insider, to preview, which I didn't get to with Moose, and I meant to, a huge National Lacrosse League game tonight in the Saddledome, the Calgary Roughnecks home to the Saskatchewan Rush. And when you know it, I didn't have anything green to wear.
Oh,
I don't.
No.
So I don't know what I'm going to do. I see the Stampeders sent out a cute tweet today saying, we don't do green. But have a happy St. Paddy's Day to everybody that does. I'm obviously representing God's team today. Big win last night in Lethbridge last night. Pats are into a playoff spot.
Did they clinch?
No, they got 13 games
I was
to
saying,
go.
there's still a long way to go here.
Yeah, they got a long ways to go. But Connor McBedard scored a highlight goal again.
I saw it on Twitter last night. 40 goals as a 16-year-old in the Western League. That's okay. That's just okay, eh?
First 16-year-old to score 40 goals in the dub since Jeff Friesen in 1993. Making history all over the place.
But he did it in 75 games. I
was going to say more games back then.
Yeah, and Bedard is way ahead of the spectrum for sure. And maybe he's a future Montreal Canadian, Arizona Coyote.
Well, he's going to be one of the two.
Yeah.
I would bet it right now.
Yeah.
And by the way, somebody wrote in, it was DG in Saskatoon who asked our take on the March Madness. As a matter of fact, Wright State has earned its first NCAA men's basketball tournament victory, and Notre Dame needed double overtime to advance. Tanner Holden had 37 points, and Wright State beat Bryant 93-82 last night. They'll face top-seeded Arizona next, and Notre Dame beat Rutgers 89-87. The Irish will take on Alabama tomorrow. One thing about March Madness, which is cool, it goes fast. It goes real fast.
Love it.
That's what you want. Losing, you're out. And Moose and I have both picked the University of Connecticut Huskies to win it. Our bracket is now closed. You had until noon Eastern to enter. But our poll question today is what I'm preambling to get at here. How interested are you in March Madness? What were the options, Clark? Because he tweeted it. I'll find it. Here we go. Very, fairly interested, only slightly, or not at all. And leading the way with 37% of the vote is not at all. So we will move on and not spend much time in March Madness.
Fair enough, that's okay.
You know what's odd about that? TSN, and I watch them all the time. It's the one channel, if I could only have one channel for the rest of my life, it would be Game Plus TV, and then it would be TSN.
There you go, so 2 channels.
It would be 2 channels. But they are cramming March Madness down our throat. They have been for a while. Women's college basketball, too. And people just aren't gravitating to it.
It's a hard sport to follow, and there's so much more to do in Canada. Like the hockey pretty much replaces that, what you have in the U.S., right? Because everybody just branches out on their own. Canada, it's kind of hockey or bust, it seems like, in the wintertime. And everything else that's happening, the NFL takes center stage and until the Super Bowl, and we're just back to hockey and into a grind until June.
See, this guy knows his stuff. I really appreciate you saying that because I promised that it would be a hockey show. So let's go.
I wasn't trying to steer you that way.
No. Carter Como writing in. You may or may not know that name. He's an offensive lineman for the Calgary Stampeders. He's watching the game right now on Game Plus TV. This is hilarious. Carter Como is an offensive lineman in the CFL. And he's writing about hockey.
There you go.
He says Owen Tippett scratched in the AHL. Is he Philly bound? Oh, boy. Let's get into it. And before you go, we'll get an AJHL playoff update because it's getting spicy too. But
starts Friday.
Yeah, Ben Sharok to the Florida Panthers. If you were watching, Carter and you, Gino, were watching last hour when I said, I got to turn Twitter off this time of year because there's so much garbage and fake news. I can't remember who it was. I know it's somebody that I respected that said the Flames are close on Ben Sharok. Now, not that close. Because he's playing for the Florida Panthers.
I don't even think they were near close on Ben Sherrod. Not that would that have been a great ad for your defense? I don't think you touch anything with that Calgary defense right now. Not a thing until there's injury, which again, don't want to jinx that, but it kind of goes back to how good Eric Branson and Nikita Zadorov have played on the third pair. Do I like Nikita Zadorov? Not really. Would I rather see Yusuf Valimaki? Yes, but he's getting time to season in the AHL where he's playing the heavy minutes that the Rasmus Andersons of the world and Noah Hannafins are playing. So I think Calgary was just looking for a depth forward. I think their defense will hold pending an absolute disaster, kind of like what they had at the end of the 04 run. They were down to, bits and pieces when it was all said and done in Game 7 against Tampa. So you'd love one more D. It's not going to be Ben Sherrod, obviously. I don't even know what you would. You have to go to the bargain bin a little bit because their cap is right tight. So
Well, that's why Florida's making these moves. I believe sending Owen Tippett down to the AHL, trading away Frank the Tank Vetrano. It's to make moves financially, to make room under the cap with the trade deadline coming on Monday. And by the way, the Flames, of which we speak, maintained their stranglehold atop the Pacific Division. They beat New Jersey 6-3 last night. Buffalo's here on Friday night. And why not take a peek at the games tonight in the NHL? When I talk about the featured games for betregal.ca, we mostly just do it on the weekend. But for tonight, a lot of huge games. Carolina, Toronto. That's a big one.
That's a little big.
Eric Kjellgren obviously starting in goal for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Can the rookie continue his hot start? Rangers, Islanders. Big one for the Rangers. Not too so big for the Islanders. Subway Series there. Owen Tippett Carter asks if Owen Tippett is Philly bound. I think Claude Giroux, they're still dangling him out.
Well,
Are they not?
That's the last piece to kind of fall, I think, of the major players, because the rest of them went last night, truly, with Calle Yarncroke and Ben Sherrod. You got Fleury and Giroux are probably your last two big pieces, and there might be a sign and trade on that with Giroux, because he's in the last year of his contract, too, if I'm not mistaken. So it's going to be interesting what the price is, if it's a sign and trade, and for Giroux. And
what about PK Subban? What about JT Miller?
Ooh, the price is going to be high, but Subban, they're going to have to eat some money. That's a huge contract out of New Jersey. You'd have to take half. You have to, kind of like what happened with the Yarncroke trade, but I don't know who's going to have the cap space to actually pull that off. If you could get PK Subban on your third pair for a playoff run, why not? Unless there's comments coming in that saying I'm a complete idiot for that.
Comments. No. There's comments coming in about everything. And that's great. It's amazing that people are so into this trade deadline stuff in the NHL. I never really used to be, but that's because I was living in the rectangle where we were watermelon on our heads 24/7. We never really got into this. So hockey is my jam. So being in the middle of this is cornucopia for me. It's Narnia. It really is.
That is a good one, though.
Pinks says the featured game tonight has to be Philly and Giroux's 1,000th game. For you, yeah, but you're a Flyers fan. Quite frankly, on it being St. Patrick's Day today. Oh, it's 11:11 Mountain, by the way. Hit it, boys. You're on the right path being here, Gino.
I try.
I'm telling you. Where were we? Jeff the Stamps fan says, experiencing St. Patrick's Day is much like cheering for the Riders. You really need to drink to get through it. I'm a little...
Sorry.
I don't want to get sidetracked and go down the football road because we're having such great hockey chat here today. And last I checked, it's still winter. Florida at the Vegas Golden Knights tonight. I have to say, this was my prediction to be the Stanley Cup final. This one here tonight. These two teams, Florida and the Vegas Golden Knights. And Florida's got a very good chance. I see that TSN's got them as the top-rated team in Canada, or in the NHL. I got them rated as the top team. Nobody's really argued that. But Vegas just... Jack Eichel was supposed to be the cure for all their woes.
Does everybody forget that he just had neck surgery? It's going to take some more time.
Then why play him?
Well, it's the LTIR. They had to. They had no choice there. Kelly was in a bit of a bind there, Kelly McGregor. So, but that's the thing. The one thing that Vegas has missed out is building a team, because they went to the Cup final their first year. Seattle, on the other hand, is not, and they're getting all these pieces. Now we're going to see how a scouting system actually works in Seattle, because in Vegas, they've just, all right, we have a first. Let's get rid of Peyton Krebs. Let's get rid of Suzuki. Let's bring in these players to establish that good sort of presence that you can have in a hockey market that's not really big in Vegas. And now they may struggle, and they could be in rough shape for a little bit. They could. Not saying they will, because they can hit on the free agent market quite easily. So it's just so many different dynamics of the two expansion teams we've had.
Who's trying to get a hold of you, Gino? Are you good?
I'm good.
Is it an emergency?
I thought it was the boss, but it's not.
It's not?
No, it's good.
Your wife or your boss?
Neither. It can be dealt with in a phone call when I'm done.
How good is this guy? I love him. I love him, by the way. I'm so happy that you came down, and when he's not on the show, he's watching it every day. But listen, the Golden Knights, back when we were on Facebook, I was telling somebody here last night, we had the finite demographics of where everybody was watching from. It's not as specific on Game Plus nor YouTube, but we had, you probably knew, Vegas was our 7th highest city for viewership.
Really?
And the only American city in the top 10. There's a lot of, because they didn't get any hockey coverage down there at all, and they still don't. But with you saying we're going to find out what Vegas is made of here, that now you see where there becomes strife within a hockey team. And I'm not saying there is within the Golden Knights, but you went out and you got Peyton Krebs. He's an NHL player, right? You went out, you drafted Nick Suzuki, and you moved them both for what? Eichel and Pacioretty.
Yeah.
Superstars. And that's what the kids are. They're assets. But where's the payoff? And I'm kind of sitting back here looking at the goaltending situation, because that's what I analyze the most. And I want to put this to you. When you say Kelly was in a pinch, that's why you need to watch this show, because we know what we're talking about here. Robin Lehner, starting goalie, and he's not going to lead them to a Stanley Cup.
Not right now.
It's very clear. And I don't think Laurent Brossoit is either. Memorial Cup, maybe. Stanley Cup, no. Hang on. I've known Kelly McCrimmon since I was 16 years old. I know how Kelly operates. So when Marc-Andre Fleury blew it in Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Conference Final last year against Montreal, I knew he was done. I knew it. And then come June, when they traded him away, we have the Golden Knights insiders on here going, no, it wasn't because of the gaff.
Yes.
Yes, it was.
100%.
Don't tell me that it's not, because I know Kelly. And that's fine. I've known guys that have played for him. I've known guys that have worked for him. You don't have a problem with Kelly McCrimmon until the day that you screw up. And then may the Lord have mercy on your soul. And that's what happened to Marc-Andre Fleury. And my question to you, and we have a minute, did they act in haste?
I think it was a knee-jerk reaction a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think they should have traded him.
Well, and then you could have built, if one is taking the reins at the deadline this year, they'd move that goaltender to a market where you can get something back, whether it's assets or a depth player, and work that way. Laurent Brossoit can be your backup. He's not going to be your starter, but that's not many people have two bona fide number ones, which Lehner and Fleury were as of last year. So it was a knee-jerk reaction by Vegas, and again, hair on the Golden Knights. They have done the unthinkable way, being the expansion team that got to the finals.
But is it over?
It's gonna hit a couple of big thuds on the way down.
Exactly.
It won't be unless they can pull a New York, and they can pull this around quickly.
They're loving you on the show, Gino, and I knew that they would. The comments are coming in like crazy on that, so thank you.
There you go.
We will be back with more of this. And Steven Stamp, our lacrosse insider, coming up on a very big night in the NLL. Rush at Roughnecks tonight. We'll see you all there. You're watching the RP Show on the Game Plus TV network, live streaming on YouTube, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpeterson.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Peterson Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep.
A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Are you ready? It's finally time for your next adventure, and it starts at Capital GMC. Custom order the perfect new vehicle for you, or reserve one of the hundreds that's already built and on its way. Can't wait? Get into a GM certified pre-owned vehicle that's on our lot and ready to rock. Plus, the American Export event is back and bigger than ever. We'll send your vehicle south, making you the most money for your trade. Guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, all name brand tires are employee priced. Only at Capital GMC. Your adventure starts here.
Comfort has always been something we, as people, strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives, focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming of the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
It is the RP Show live from Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. By the way, catch the rock legend George Thorogood live May 6th at Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Rock your heart out at this high-energy boogie blues show. May 6th at the Grey Eagle Event Center. Secure your tickets at Ticketmaster.ca before they're gone. Some sports items on this Thursday in Major League Baseball news. Former NL MVP Freddie Freeman is headed home to Southern California and the Los Angeles Dodgers. Meanwhile, former World Series MVP Chris Bryant has reportedly agreed to a 7-year deal worth $182 million with the Colorado Rockies. MLB has scheduled 30 additional doubleheaders to make up some of the 91 games postponed by the lockout that delayed opening day until April 7th. The league has extended the last day of the regular season by 3 days to October 5th. 5 games were rescheduled for July 21st. That's the second day after the All-Star game. The sports update for dubnetwork.ca, your number one source for Western Hockey League breaking news and analysis. And for Ben Cahoon's G2G protein bars, RP Show viewers get 20% off with the promo code RP Show. Order yours now at g2gbars.ca. All right, let's bring him in. Gino De Paulie, voice of the Okotoks Oilers. I see everybody's got their own thing going in the chat here. It's been a big hockey day. And by the way, there's obviously a reason. Do you want me to ask you why you're wearing that jersey? Do you want to throw that out there?
You can ask.
Why are you wearing the jersey, Gino?
Well, it's the University of Denver Pioneers hockey team in the NCAA. And there's a Regina Pats connection to this jersey, actually, if we're going to dig into it. But Rieger Lorenz, who is an Okotoks Oiler, which we're going to drop, is committed to the University of Denver. He's one of the watch for his name at the NHL draft. You will hear his name called in the late first or second round. And secondly, this is the jersey of Tarek Hammond. And if you look at the last name, it's John Hammond, the former Regina Pats.
Jon.
John.
Jon,
That's
John.
right.
No H.
One of the best hockey parents you'll ever meet.
He's just a good human being.
Oh, like here.
And what you probably don't know, he was my very first ever football color commentator.
No way.
You can ask him about it. Regina Rams, 1991. I was 18 years of age. Johnny Hambone. And he was on the 1974 Memorial Cup Championship for God's team.
He played for God's team, is right.
The Regina Pats.
And Tarek was an Okotoks Oiler, so I went on my 30th birthday. I went down to Denver. There's another city you should check out for.
I keep hearing that.
It's fun. It's different. It reminds me of this place.
Everybody tells me that. It's like a twin city of Calgary.
It's a little bigger and a little further away from everything, but Denver was an awesome place. They played North Dakota that weekend, and we saw Moose Jaw native Rhett Gardner, a former Okotoks Oilers. We drop all of our Saskatchewan drops here today, but John Hammond, his son Tarek, played. He was the captain of their NCAA team in his senior year and won a national championship the year before.
Right.
So there's my Jersey story.
Hey, we'll take your questions and comments. The Taco Time is back aboard. So Taco Time Viewer Takeover takes over all of basically the last segment of Hour 1 and all of Hour 2, which Hour 2 is brought to you by Great Western Original 16 Beer, the best beer in the game. Great Western Original 16 Beer. Jeff, the Stamps fan, says, Victoria is beautiful. I may move there one day when I retire, but it's getting expensive. Come on down to Florida.
Everywhere's expensive.
Everywhere's expensive, exactly. You got to know how to do it right. That's the one thing that I loved about this. Like George Strait sings, my life's been grand. Being able to see this continent from ear to ear and be paid to do it was amazing. And Victoria... I was old enough to have broadcast games when the Victoria Cougars were in it.
Oh, man.
Can you believe that?
I don't think I wasn't very big when that happened.
Now, have you been to Victoria?
No.
It is amazing. It's beautiful, and that's why all the old people move out there. It's beautiful. The weather's very mild.
Yeah.
Although I'm finding that Calgary is a lot milder than Saskatchewan.
Well, the Chinooks are pretty nice.
Yeah, well, it's livable.
Yes, it is.
It's not like you go outside and your tires are like bricks and all the pipes in your house have frozen. Like, it's insane. But anyways, before we jump back on the NHL train, we just got to talk about the AJHL. I've got friends, relatives.
Which we discovered.
Which I discovered playing for the Canmore Eagles of the AJHL. It's a bit of an inside story there. My cousin, I knew that he went to Canmore 2 years ago, but through COVID, I lost track of where he was.
You never know if they're going to be coming out on the other side, right?
Right. Turned out he did. And my family was like, did you know that Ethan's out there? Well, yeah, of course. I went out there and I saw him. Gino is the voice of the Okotoks Oilers. So we're now into round 2, which is odd. The Junior A people are saying to me, and I know we have a lot of hockey-watching viewers in Alberta, so I don't mind talking about this. And Sask, too. Why is the SJ just starting their playoffs, the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League, and the AJ is going into round 2 already?
Easy answer to that is because there's no Doyle Cup this year because the BCHL split off.
That's the regional tournament.
That is that was no longer there. So Alberta is an AJHL team is going to be in Estevan. There will be no BCHL team this year. And the AJ, they kept their schedule the same, and they are going to give themselves a little bit more of space and rest before the tournament. So they started the season started mid-September and ended the last weekend in February, jam-packed, which was great. January was a little rough, just with things were going with COVID, but once got out of that, seems to be okay. But there's not that additional series for Okotoks, or sorry, for the AJHL.
You're just assuming it'll be Okotoks.
Well, that would be great if it was. That would be amazing if it was. But there's no BCHL team anymore, and Alberta's taking full advantage of the rest. They're going to have 3 weeks off before the tournament.
And to double down on all this.
There we go.
I've been in a lot of Junior A rinks over the last 5 weeks, as you know, because you've seen it. And we've been talking about my scoop was 80% right?
Sort of. It was the splitting off was about it.
Let's just talk that the BC Hockey League was going to leave Canada. The BC Hockey League has left Canada. That was true.
That is true, which is funny because you can still trade teams to and from BC. So, did you really leave?
They're not part of Hockey Canada.
No, they are not under that umbrella.
And so, however, the addendum to my report was that 3 Alberta teams were going to leave to join them, and that was Okotoks, Brooks, Grand Prairie, and I think there was a fourth.
Probably at the time would have been Fort McMurray or something like that.
That really raised the ire of a lot of people.
It did. And I was like, well, this ought to be good. I don't think there's any money to do it at the time when they thought about it, right? So,
well,
right now, good luck.
I guess I'll take 80% right. But the fun thing about being out here in Alberta is you're starting to figure out what I'm all about. For instance, I've had Stamp Peters people in here, and they point to this Bo Levi jersey, and they're like, oh, my God, what a gong show it was getting that jersey, and oh, my God, you stirred up so much. And I said, but I was just trying to do the right thing. I'm always trying to do the right thing. I wanted to give away a Bo Levi jersey at this Calgary event, not bring in a Ryder jersey and be that big of a jerk.
Tarred and feathered.
Right.
100%.
So we're gonna be out here, going to the events, being out in the public, and getting scoops, being part of the community.
It's great. You had a great time in Okotoks.
So, yeah.
That's gonna be a good series.
I couldn't believe that you watched me from the press box to the degree that you did.
Well,
how did you see my every move?
Because Mark Frank, when there's a media timeout, gives me a solid minute of me not having to speak. So I look over, I'm like, oh, there's Rod.
And I was talking to somebody different.
You were talking to an NHL scout.
Or a referee or whatever.
It was a black jacket, so that's a scout jacket. I'm like, okay, scouts.
The scout fit.
Yeah, that's a scout fit. I like that. I didn't even think of that.
That's a Colby Armstrong, the scout fit.
Everybody in a black jacket. I think, Rod, you talked to him at least once.
I'll never forget, I was checking into a hotel with my dad, which has happened many times. And the lady, I can't remember even where we were. Do they still have Imperial 400s? It was Imperial 400, I think.
I don't know. I don't know what that is.
You don't even know what it is?
No. Is that?
Am I showing my age? Anyways, I think it was an Imperial 400 in either Edmonton or Saskatoon. And the lady's like, looks up at my dad, NHL rate? And he's like, how'd you know? She goes, you all look the same. They do.
Was he wearing the jacket?
Of course. Collar up.
Yeah, collar
popped.
You got the black shirt, so you can kind of be a little more in disguise. So
they all dress the same. Do you guys want to have a little variety? Introduce a little color into your outfit? Anyways.
Gray pants or black pants?
The Edmonton Oilers are home tonight to Peyton Krebs and the Buffalo Sabres. I was thinking of this. So Krebs is an Okotoks kid.
Yes, he is.
Is this and they're playing here Friday night. Is this going to be a huge Krebs?
Oh, the droves of Krebs supporters, there'll be a lot of them, because that is a very talented family. They had 3 go through the minor hockey system in Okotoks. And I don't know the Krebs family very well. I don't. I know their dad, Greg, who hooked me up with a couple interviews with Peyton, but I always leave the kids alone. You know,
yeah.
You know they've got some hype to them. But they also have a very talented daughter, Madison Krebs, who is in Nashville, I think, recording country music. So there's a lot of talent in the Krebs family.
Their dad's pretty cool, too.
Greg's a good guy.
Yeah.
He's a great guy.
That's the sense that I get.
Yeah. Oh, and actually, Drew, who's playing with Madison Hatter, he AP'd with the Okotoks Oilers during the COVID season because Madison Hatter was shut down, and he actually played with Okotoks for a couple. So I actually got to call one Krebs, which was pretty cool. So
there'll be a lot of Krebs Sabres jerseys in the Saddle Dome Friday night and Rogers Place tonight.
There could be some Krebs Kootenay Ice and Winnipeg Ice and CFR Bison's jerseys. I bet you they'll have them all. So Okotoks is just you can just throw a rock at it from here.
Tacona Paoli in Winnipeg is championing Peyton Krebs to Winnipeg for Mark Scheifele and picks. Dan in the Bridge City says, also, guys, the AJHL has one extra round of playoffs. Both leagues down to 8 teams left now. P.S. Hi, Gino. That's Dan Ukrainitz.
Oh, yes, Danny U.
A beautician, that one.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff, the Stamps fan, says, Imperial 400, was that a car? Come on, Jeff. You're at least old enough to remember the Imperial 400. Come on. But they had an NHL rate, and my dad and I, we would room together quite frequently on the road, and I would make Dad pay. And
That's what you're supposed to do.
Right. And I remember one night in Edmonton, Brian Munns was staying with us. Biggie Munns. It was 1997.
The pride of Humboldt, Saskatchewan.
That's right. Oilers Stars playoff series. And I'd been gone. I was 24 years old at the time. To me, that was a long time gone from home. I left at 17. Dad didn't come home. It was getting to be 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm panicking. Where's Dad? I hadn't stayed with my dad since I was little. Munzie and I are calling the police station. We're calling the hospital. Doesn't drink. Well, where was he? In the casino. The all-night casinos. He shows up at 4 o'clock in the morning. He's like, what's the problem, guys?
Oh, that would.
I'm sitting there on the edge of my bed, rocking back and forth. Thought you were dead. And I say that to my dad. Funny how things reverse.
Yeah. And now you're at the casino.
Now I'm at the casino. Yeah, exactly. But I'll tell you what, although I never was a gambler per se at all, the old me couldn't have done a residency like this and stayed in a casino. There's no way.
No.
There's no cab, dude.
I can't do that here. I would be dead.
Would you? From gambling or buffeting or drinking?
All of the above.
Smoking?
I'm not much of a smoker. I'll smoke a cigar in the summertime. That's about it.
But you get this.
Oh, yes. This has got the Vegas feel. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Like I said to Moose this morning, I feel like we're in Vegas. All right. In the time that we have left, John Massey writes in on YouTube. He says, "Are you and Bo Levi blood brothers now?"
Oh, is he talking?
Do they still do that? You cut your hand.
I don't think that's safe.
It's not
I don't think that's a good idea.
Used to be. Do you know what blood brothers means?
Yeah.
Take the jackknife.
Yeah. Ow! Like, why?
I've done it.
Wow.
I'll show you the scar.
Yeah, you live to tell the tale too, so that's good.
Are we blood brothers? Stay tuned. It'll be the biggest moment of the CFL offseason, perhaps season, when Bo Levi strides across this stage.
I think you got to have the smoke machine and the lights. I'll come. You could do it like the WCW when Dennis Rodman and Karl Malone were involved.
This guy's so great. Okay, what's your playoff schedule?
Friday, Saturday, games 1 and 2 in Drumheller, and then in Okotoks Tuesday, Wednesday for the first 4 games. Going to be a hard out against Drumheller, so we'll see what happens there. And you got Brooks versus your Canmore Eagles. We can call them that now. Same schedule. Fort McMurray is playing the Drayton Valley Thunder. I'm picking the Thunder in that game. I think they're the most underrated team in Canada right now. And then you've got the Spruce Grove Saints against the surprising Whitecourt Wolverines, who beat the third-ranked Bonneville Pontiacs. So,
Gino, thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me. Well, get back here real soon.
Absolutely. The great Gino De Paulie joining us. We'll be back with more NLL talk and more. You're watching the RP Show live from Grey Eagle on Game Plus Television Network, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpeterson.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Peterson Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Roughriders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar Buying Group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep.
A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of prime. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpetersonshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpetersonshop.com.
RP Show continues from the Gateway to the Foothills. And Hour 2 is brought to you by Great Western Original 16 Beer, the greatest beer in the game. Also for Tough Tribe for Men. It's made the road trip to Calgary. Tough Tribe for Men contains aloe vera, botanicals, and antioxidants, traditionally known for their scalp and hair benefits. We love our men. Welcome to the Tough Tribe. Available today at toughtribeformen.com. That's the number 4, toughtribeformen.com. Amazon Canada, and coming to a salon near you. I'm not joking. This stuff, I'm taking it everywhere. Darren asked me, we're getting another shipment. He's like, what do you want? I said, the pomade. It's the paste. I love this stuff. I know Steven Stamp uses it regularly. Lacrosse Insider from Lacrosse Link. NLL Insider. How you doing, Stamper?
Not bad. Good to see you again.
Good to see you. Hey, it's game night, St. Patrick's Day. They've been talking about this game here tonight in the Saddle Dome for a month. Saskatchewan Rush, Calgary Roughnecks. The green beer's going to be flowing. Who knows what else is going to be flowing? And all that aside, this is a massive, massive game tonight in the Western Conference. Talk about it if you don't mind.
Well, it is. And the thing is, if you look at a month ago, I don't think either of these teams thought they'd be sitting on 3 wins along with 6 losses for Calgary and 8 for Saskatchewan. But they just can't afford a lot more losses. There are playoff spots for the taking in the West. But what a huge weekend. These teams to start off on Thursday, and they both play again this weekend. Colorado also has 2 games this weekend. So we're looking at 3 teams playing a pair of games each, while the standings are pretty condensed, still pretty close. If, say, Saskatchewan won 2 games and Colorado lost both of theirs, all of a sudden they're 1 game behind Colorado in the win column after, people were thinking it looked pretty dismal for the Rush. So there's a possibility for a lot of things to change up this weekend, really depending on how everything shakes out with those 3 teams in particular playing a couple of games.
This is a tough question for you, and it's a little off board, but you've been all over this continent covering lacrosse. I've been to the Roughnecks game. They were playing Vancouver. It was wild in there. Obviously, we know what the Rush games are like. What's the most passionate fans area in the NLL? And you know what I'm saying. You get the Prairies here, West Coast, Georgia, I don't know, Southern Ontario. What's the wildest atmosphere, most passionate fan base?
I think it would have to be a toss-up, honestly, between Colorado and Buffalo. Buffalo, they have been passionate for a long time, so they've got a lot of history behind them. They've been, packing that arena for a long time, from back in the, the early days of the John Tavares career, now into his coaching career. And Colorado, it's just loud, they call it the Loud House, and they really get into it, really get on the opposing fans. And I think other spots are kind of aiming towards that. I mean, Calgary's definitely one that gets some folks out and gets passionate with big crowds, but I'd say Colorado, Buffalo toss up. If I had to go with one, I've been to more games in Buffalo, and it can be pretty amazing to be in there. It can be electric.
Well, speaking of the East, my focus is on this game tonight that we're going to, St. Patrick's Day in the Saddle Dome. But what are the big East Conference matchups this weekend?
Oh, there's actually only one game between Eastern teams this weekend, which is pretty strange when you think about it, right? But it's a huge game between Albany and Georgia. They are battling for fourth place, trying to move up, but they are right now fourth and fifth, half a game apart. And of course, 4 teams in the East make the playoffs, and a fifth team can make it right now. The fifth team would be in a playoff spot versus the fourth team in the West. So a huge game there. And of course, Georgia has Steph LeBlanc in the lineup after he went from Halifax over to Panther City and then on to Georgia. And Panther City actually grabbed a couple of draft picks in making those deals. So they did great, just kind of facilitating his movement over to Georgia. But adding a veteran lefty for Georgia, Albany's already done that with getting Ryan Benesh, who's been fantastic. So it's going to be really interesting to see how LeBlanc fits in there, how quickly he can assimilate and be a really positive contributor, and a huge game for a couple of teams that are both on the rise lately.
I got a question has come in from Ryan in Saratoga, New York. He covers the Albany Firewolves, and he says, for Stephen, I noticed Albany wasn't active near the trade deadline. Is Glenn Clark satisfied with how the team is structured?
I think so. I think they recognized, first of all, going into the season, that they were pretty close to having what they wanted, but had some adjustments to make with Callum Crawford gone and Jacob Roulet coming in on the offensive right side. The things were going to change, but Joe Rezateris has really come on. Benesh was the key addition, and they made that earlier. I think that's the deal that was kind of their deadline deal just a month and a half earlier. I think on defense, they're very deep. They're very sound. Doug Jamieson, obviously, in net has been terrific as the goalie of the year last year and getting better as the season's gone on. So I think they feel pretty comfortable with the way that they're set up. I think that, you're always talking. I've talked to Clarkie, and he says, yeah, you're always listening. You're always getting and making calls. But I think they feel pretty good about the way things are shaping up at the moment for them.
The Saskatchewan Rush are home Saturday night to the Rochester Nighthawks, and there's some angst there. They got a big home win when we were there a few weeks ago, but then they blew a huge lead in San Diego on the weekend, and it's not looking great to even make the playoffs, and they weren't active at the trade deadline. What's your take on the immediate and long-term future of the Saskatchewan Rush?
The immediate future is tougher with 8 losses, but the thing is with 15 teams in the league and 8 of them making it, somebody just under 500 is probably going to make the playoffs, which means 8 and 10 may get you in. And looking at the rest of their schedule, there's no reason to believe they can't go 5-2. They've lost 5 one-goal games and a two-goal game with an empty netter. They are so close to being right in the thick of the race. I don't think it's over, which is, I think, part of why they didn't make any deals. I think the other thing, everyone was talking like, okay, they're out of it. They're going to trade Shatler, Corbeil, Rubish. Shatler's retiring, so he's a bit of a different critter, but Corbeil and Rubish, first of all, Derek Keenan doesn't think they're automatically gone to the East next year, like everyone seems to assume. But also, it would have to be a good deal for them to have movement there, because they're going to get probably, we're almost sure, first round compensatory picks for each of those players if they do leave in free agency. And that means the floor for any trade offer has got to be at least a first round pick. And I think they'd like them sooner rather than later if they were going to move those guys. But the long-term future, I think, is really bright, because you look at guys like Connor McClellan and Holden Garland are rising stars. You've got Beers will still be around. You've got Mike Messenger as a stud. You've got some young players on offense, and they've got the 2 first-round picks from last year coming in on the defense next year. There are lots of reinforcements coming, and I think the future is still bright. They've got to sort out the goaltending. Is Shoot a long-term answer? Is Penny a long-term answer? Or do they look somewhere else? When will Cameron Dunkerley be ready? I think that's the key question, is how do you nail the goaltending? Who are you comfortable going forward with? Because I think the core of the team is still going to be competitive for several years.
A wonderful assessment. Stephen, thank you for this. Enjoy the games this weekend, and we'll chat with you soon.
Thanks. Great talking to you again.
Stephen Stamp from Lacrosse Link, our NLL insider. It's just you and me. Next segment, Taco Time, viewer takeover with whatever you would like to discuss. Tonight's NHL games, the trade deadline looming, CFL going to 4 downs. Holy smokes, did Arash light a fire there? Whatever you want. You and me next for Overtime. From Grey Eagle, we'll be right back. You're watching on the Game Plus television network across all 10 provinces and 31 states, live on YouTube and 24-hour sports radio at rodpeterson.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Peterson Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Peterson Show now.
A new year means a new you. Pick up a new ride to match at Capital GMC for 2022. Custom order the perfect vehicle for you, or reserve a unit that's already on its way. Get into a GM certified pre-owned vehicle that's on our lot and ready to roll. We need your used vehicle too. We pay big and you don't even have to buy from us. Plus, our service department is always here to help. Get special pricing on name brand tires, tire storage, maintenance, and more. And we always offer free vehicle pickup and delivery. Start the new year right at Capital GMC in Regina.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Lot of slime, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Oh, big time, big time, big time, big time. Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Casino fancy.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming of the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep.
A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpetersonshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpetersonshop.com.
Okay, here we go. It is time for Overtime, presented by the Four Seasons Sports Palace, your home for the UFC and the National Hockey League. And as we roll into viewer takeover, which is simultaneously brought to you by Taco Time, where today is Burrito Thursday, buy one, get one half off at Taco Time. There are 14 in the Calgary area alone. Speaking of the Four Seasons, I see the folks in the chat, those that are watching on YouTube right now, they're all talking about buffet because we got them all hot and bothered about the Grey Eagle buffet, and for good reason. Not only is it Calgary's buffet, best buffet, I would put it up against the Golden Corral, and you know how I feel about the Golden Corral. Wayne in Victoria writes, then he says, I haven't been to a buffet in years. Well, nobody had been, Wayne, because they were all shut down because of COVID, but they're open here. He says, does the Four Seasons still have their Sunday brunch buffet? Call them. And the comments just go from there like crazy. Yeah, Gino De Paulie says, Rod, prayers for the 2 Canadian golfers involved in the tragic accident in Texas. Isn't that just terrible? Boy, sometimes you try to keep things positive and sometimes you just can't. And again, we are in viewer takeover here. The 902 text line is open. 902-518-3033 is the number to text us right here on the set. Randy, watching in Winnipeg, says, good luck, everyone, in the March Madness pool. Go, Kentucky. People are asking who our picks are, Moose and mine, to win it all for March Madness. And by the way, he won it last year. I point at Moose because I think he's still back here in the green room. But I'm handling overtime by myself. He won it last year. So we are both saying the Yukon Huskies, University of Connecticut. But we're not going to talk a lot about March Madness because our poll question today for Capital Automall Universal Collision Center is, how interested are you in March Madness? Very, fairly, not at all. And I don't need all the options. Last I looked, leading is not at all interested in March Madness. So, we're done. Sports update. Star Center Austin Matthews will have another press box seat tonight when the Toronto Maple Leafs entertain the Carolina Hurricanes. Matthews will be serving the second of his 2-game suspension for cross-checking. Elsewhere tonight in the National Hockey League, the Montreal Canadiens host the Dallas Stars. The Edmonton Oilers are home to Buffalo. And the Vancouver Canucks welcome Detroit. It has been amazing. There's been hockey on every night. I've been loving the condensed schedule due to the COVID outbreaks earlier on, which seem to be a memory now. And the exciting thing in Alberta is the return tour for Peyton Krebs, who just last year was starring with the Winnipeg Ice. He's an Okotoks, Alberta product. Now playing for the Buffalo Sabres. They're at Edmonton tonight. We'll be visiting the Calgary Flames Friday night. There's a lot of excitement in the area here with the hockey folk. NHL GMs already are hard at work as they count down to Monday's trade deadline. The Florida Panthers have snared defenseman Ben Sharok from the Montreal Canadiens for Tyler Smolanic and 2 draft picks. The Habs also get a first-rounder in 2023 and a fourth-rounder this year. And to make room for Sherrod in Florida, the Panthers moving Frank the Tank Vetrano to the New York Rangers. That takes $2.5 million off the books for the Panthers this year. And having spent so much time in Florida in the fall and winter, I've noticed how big of a fan favorite Frank Vetrano is. He's a hard-nosed, honest player who has a penchant for scoring big goals. And dare I say, you wouldn't know he was American. Oops. Meanwhile, the Seattle Kraken sent forward Calle Jarnkrok to the Calgary Flames for a second-round pick this year, a third in 2023, and a seventh in 2024. Jarnkrok has 26 points in 49 games this season. They're very excited about this move in Calgary, and the Kraken are paying for half his salary. Great move for the Flames, who, by the way, beat New Jersey here last night 6-3. And yes, they've got a stranglehold atop the Pacific Division with 81 points, but they're still about 10 points clear of the Flames and Avalanche, and I think that they are behind all of the top 3 teams in the Central Division. The Flames do play in a soft division. I'm not saying that they're not worthy of all the plaudits that they're getting, but I didn't have the Flames in my NHL top 5 today, which we released way back in hour 1. NFL news, the Buffalo Bills are hoping Von Miller has plenty left in the tank. The 2-time NFL Defensive Player of the Year has agreed to a 6-year contract with the Bills. The 11-year veteran spent his first 10-plus seasons in Denver before being traded last season to the Rams, where he won the Super Bowl. He's looking to win a third Super Bowl with a third team, and you got to tell me who else has done that. That is such a rare feat. LeBron's done it in the NBA. There are very few that have done it in the CFL. One is my good friend Vic Stevenson, who won Grey Cups with the Eskimos, Argos, and Riders. I believe those were the teams. Doesn't happen very often. And in the NFL, unheard of. And with all these teams and players, the merry-go-round going around in the NFL, I feel that we need to give the CFL some slack because we talk about how bad it looks on them turning on your TV every season and having players in new jerseys. This exact same thing's happening in the NFL. But they're not going back. It's because of a lack of loyalty. This sports update for dubnetwork.ca. By the way, can you guys put the guests up for tomorrow's show if you or have you already? This sports update for dubnetwork.ca, your number one source for Western Hockey League breaking news and analysis. Visit today, dubnetwork.ca. And for Ben Cahoon's G2G protein bars, now with 8 amazing flavors, including the new almond mocha. That's my new jam. RP Show viewers get 20% off with the promo code RP Show. Order yours now at g2gbars.ca. Tomorrow it is a Football Friday. We're down to 30 seconds. What do we got tomorrow? Thank you. Jabari Arthur. I like it. Andy McNamara and more. So we tried to keep today to a hockey show, and I think we successfully did that, and it's been awesome. Tomorrow we'll get into the Deshaun Watson stuff. The announcement's supposed to come down tomorrow, says Tim Manto, one of our viewers on YouTube. The CFL 4 Downs talk. All that coming up tomorrow on a Football Friday. Thanks to Brent, Sopel, Gino De Paulie, and Steven Stamp. See you tomorrow.
Who has more fun than us?
How about that? Oh, no.